Hello, and welcome to It's Not That Bad, optimistic movie reviews for optimistic people. That's Chad Ekowitz.
And that's the enigmatic Simone LaRue.
Oh,
Yeah.
why did we get a compliments today? I look like a mess.
You never look like a mess.
I
You're a beautiful
100%
shining bastion of millennial power, my friend.
I put on a bra like 2 hours ago for the first time. It is evening.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That feels like you're winning.
That is
I mean,
true.
there are so many women out there who wouldn't wear a bra.
That's my fear about like getting a job in an office again, is I'll have to wear a bra like all day.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about as well, is me getting a job means I'll probably have to wear a bra as well.
Yeah. It's horrible. I think I'm done with underwires. Like, I feel like I know what my boobs look like. I'm comfortable with everyone else understanding that they're not shaped like perfect spheres. I'm done with them.
I would be really worried if anyone's boobs were shaped like perfect spheres, though.
I mean...
That would terrify me.
Well, tell that to plastic surgeons.
It's almost as if plastic surgeons have never seen real boobs before. But, yeah. I mean, that's the thing about boobs, you know, from a man's perspective. From my personal perspective, is they don't need to be perfect, so long as they're squishy
they're
and they're lovely.
Yeah.
That's all that really matters.
All boobs matter.
And all boobs are created equally. Let's not...
Yes.
There's no discrimination between boobs. Boobs are just lovely, you know?
So for the people listening to this podcast for the first time...
It's a podcast about boobs. That's what it's become.
We look at movies that did really badly critically, and we try to tell you, hey, here's some reasons you should maybe watch them, because maybe they're not that bad.
Exactly. Optimistic, that's what we do. We're a very loving bunch. And you know what, actually, I wanted to mention this before we got into the movies, is that I'm feeling the love, Simone. I mean, I was looking at the comments we've gotten on reviews, and it's just lovely.
Yes.
Apart from, you know,
It was so
the salty
sweet.
Mr. Cheese and Onion, we've gotten some really lovely reviews.
Mr. Chips. Yeah, thank you, friends.
Yeah, and I mean, if you could, you know, if you haven't left a review yet, just hop onto your app of choice and give us 5 stars or 4 stars, but nothing less, and leave us a lovely little comment about what you think is great. And if you do have any sort of criticisms, let us know as well, because we'd love to improve for you guys.
But honestly, 3.5 stars is the lowest we can go, you guys. After that, it's just me.
Yeah, if you haven't noticed, both Simone and I, we have a really low threshold for criticism. If you haven't noticed that already, we're incredibly fragile beings. And so we can't take it. We can't take it.
These delicate snowflakes.
You know what? I've got nothing for that. You're right.
Look, you're welcome to tell us the problems with our podcast, but maybe do it in a format that will not influence whether other people listen to our podcast. I say that like we don't do movie reviews as this, like that's our format. Like, here we are telling other people how to review us.
Well, I feel like what we're doing, though, when we do review movies, is we're not saying they're bad. You know, it's all constructive.
I sense that streak might be broken.
Oh, with today's movies?
Yes, especially your movie.
Oh, yeah, my movie's terrible. So let's get straight into it then. So what movie are you doing this week?
I am doing 2011's Three Musketeers, that no one has seen or heard of, but that has an amazing cast.
I love this film.
I've
seen it once before, but in parts. Like, you know, when it's on TV and you're just like, oh, I remember this sort of. So I love this film. I think it's brilliant.
Me too. Tell people what movie you're doing, though.
I am doing the movie that defines the rule that comedy does not age well. I am doing Scary Movie 2. So that's good fun, as always.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah. I did, yeah. We'll dive into that.
We'll jump right in.
So what are you drinking this week, Simone?
I'm drinking some Robertson's box wine.
Oh, classy.
It's in my home because my mom bought it for cooking purposes and then left it here. And I needed something to drink if I'm going to talk about Scary Movie 2.
Fair.
So here we are. I don't know what percentage it comes in, but it's dry white. Like myself.
Like yourself, the driest and the whitest. I am still for one more week
Mm-hmm.
in exam mode, so I am so excited to be almost done with it. But I again am drinking a chocochino, coffee and hot chocolate mix just to be a bit fancy.
Fun!
And yeah, it's the one thing in my life that has joy right now. Apart from obviously seeing you every week and discussing these great movies.
And watching these great movies, I mean,
cool. Highlight of my week.
I thought so.
So I guess you win, and I mean, even if I was drinking, even if you weren't drinking, rather, should I say, I mean, we agreed we would take turns until I'm done with exams, so I guess it is you to go first.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. I actually wrote a synopsis because I needed to.
Yes. The plot is odd, if not thin.
Odd if not thin.
Another way to describe
the title of my autobiography.
I'm so glad we both went there. Otherwise that could be really awkward.
Okay. Let me tell you about 2011's Three Musketeers.
Do it.
Our story opens as the original Three Musketeers are breaking into a secret vault in Venice. For those who aren't aware, the Three Musketeers are Athos, played by Matthew Macfadyen, Porthos, played by Ray Stevenson, and Aramis, played by Luke Evans. The three are helped by Athos's lover at the time, Milady de Winter, played by Mila Jovovich. Directly after they have broken into the vault and stolen Michelangelo's plans to build an airship, it turns out that Milady was in fact working for the Duke of Buckingham, played by Orlando Bloom, the whole time. The two escape with plans, leaving Athos heartbroken and forcing the Musketeers to disband because of the failure. 1 year later, we find a young D'Artagnan, played by Logan Lerman, as he heads to Paris to become a musketeer. Fortunately for him, he's quite sassy and manages to arrange a duel with each member of the original gang of musketeers on the day of his arrival. And this happened in the book, so you can't even be like, well, that's a little silly.
It's canon.
It's canon. So, as the four of them are about to begin dueling, the city guards threaten to arrest them because dueling's actually illegal. A huge brawl breaks out, and the four of them defeat 40 guardsmen. For this offense, Cardinal Richelieu, played by Christoph Waltz, attempts to have them executed, but King Louis VIII, played by Freddie Fox, decides not to. We know from the introduction at the beginning of the movie that the Cardinal is plotting against the King and Queen and is attempting to start a war so that he can assume the throne in the chaos. To this end, the Cardinal schemes with Milady de Winter to fabricate an affair between Queen Anne of France, played by Juno Temple, and the Duke of Buckingham, assuming that the resulting scandal would result in a war and cause the French people to lose faith in King Louis. The key part of this scheme is the Queen's diamond necklace, which Milady steals to plant on the Duke's person, implicating them both in the affair. The Cardinal arranges a ball to which the Queen will have to wear the diamonds if she doesn't want her husband thinking there's an affair. The Queen therefore tasks the Musketeers with finding the diamond and bringing it back in time for the ball. What follows is a lot of battling on land and above sea on airships in order to take the necklace back. In the process, Lady de Winter dies by jumping from an airship, but overall the diamonds are brought back and the King's faith in the Queen is restored, and war is avoided. The movie ends by showing us that the Duke of Buckingham rescued Lady de Winter and wants to take another go at attacking France and the Musketeers. The end.
I mean, it is just a joyride of fun, is this film.
It really, if you don't think about it too hard, it's just a fun movie to watch.
It is really fun, and the cast is exceptional.
Phenomenal. I forgot to mention Mads Mikkelsen is in it. Our boy.
Yeah, your boy. And I mean, it's just spectacular. Just from it falls into the category for me of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where it's just fun puff that's just continually amazing, and yeah, it's just adorable. The wit is so funny, and Juno Temple,
amazing.
She's so fantastic.
I loved King Louis in this too. I thought he was adorable.
Yes. Yeah, he was so cute, and the whole colour thing and the fashion with Orlando Bloom.
I mean, I feel that.
Orlando Bloom, for me, is sort of an enigma wrapped in a mystery.
I back him. I stand by Orlando Bloom.
I mean, I think you should get that as a badge.
I stand by Orlando Bloom.
I stand by Orlando Bloom. Because you've got to question, is he a good actor, or is he a bad actor who does being bad good?
I think he did a fairly good job as Legolas, and I think his role in this movie kind of required someone to be a little ridiculous and over the top and, like, extra sassy. And it was so fun to watch it when he's like, oh, I see you're wearing green. Like, hilarious.
I think anyone who wears a goatee for a film has to be that ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
otherwise
legally
there's
required.
no real point. Yeah. I had a problem with the accents, I will say, though. Just to, be a Debbie Downer. Were they French? Were they American? Who was what? Were they British?
I have a feeling that the dude who played D'Artagnan just couldn't get an English accent together. And they were like, you know what? Yeah. Don't bother.
Yeah. Mila Glushkvashkvish, she can't do one either, so it's fine. Is it simply Jovovich?
Yeah.
Oh. That's I always thought it was more complicated than that.
No, she was spectacular in this movie, though. She makes such a good bad guy. She's so much fun.
Great. Was this is post Resident Evil 1, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about the Resident Evil movies later. But yes.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
I'm so excited. Is that a hint for what we're doing next week?
No. No. It's a hint about the director.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, I mean, I was going to say, with the whole Resident Evil thing, that whole bit where she's running through the palace and getting the diamonds was so very Resident Evil.
It was so fun.
And it made me really happy. It was so good.
Yeah, and Rudy was saying, like, she always gets typecast, kind of, as, like, the badass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what a great way of getting typecast. Like, you get to wear bomb outfits and do, like, ridiculous stunts and just, like, look amazing. Like, it's my dream. That's how I want to live my life.
Yeah, it is the best sort of typecasting that you can get.
Yeah.
What do you think you would be typecast as if you were a film star?
Oh, I know exactly what I'd get typecast as, because I know my face, and I know the impression I give people is I would be the superhero or hero's girlfriend who either gets kidnapped or dies under tragic circumstances.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
and, like,
horrible.
if it's a fun role, I get to, like, escape or whatever, but, like, otherwise I just get horribly murdered, and, like, whoever I'm dating, like, fucking Gerard Butler has to go on a killing spree. And, like, watch home videos of me.
That's so good.
I know.
And there's, like, Polaroids everywhere of just your face being goofy.
Exactly. And it's all so just, like, really glowy lighting on me all the time.
That's magical.
Thank you. What would you get typecast as?
Oh, I mean, it's really obvious. I'm the British gay guy. That's what I was typecast as at school. No! That's what I was typecast as during my acting career over here in the UK. Very, very short stint. I mean, the greatest role I got was, Prince Charming.
Yes.
That was a fun thing that totally did not go to my head at all. So gay British dude is always my type.
You can't help it if you're confident in your sexuality.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. I do love women. That's a truth fact.
Ladies.
And it just ladies, I am single and ready to pringle.
After exams,
yeah. Seriously, guys, this is the only thing that matters outside of exams is this podcast. But yeah, so I mean, there was only a few things that I didn't really like about this movie, and one was when the Queen was like, "Oh, boys will be boys."
Oh, fuck off! Are we still doing that?
Can we not?
Look, it was 2011.
Yeah, and I mean, we're gonna speak about Scary Movie 2, which is the epitome of everything wrong with toxic masculinity.
It's everything wrong with everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but let's not steal your thunder.
No.
Also, favorite thing of all time was in this movie, one of the characters pulls up his saber, and he goes, "Ah, yes, the saber, the weapon of the musketeer." And I was just like, I sat there and I was like, no, it's not. It's the musket. It's in the name. They're called Musketeers. It's kind of in the name.
And isn't it a rapier? The sword that they actually use, wasn't that? I mean, some history buff can correct me, but, like, wasn't it a rapier?
You might be right. I think you're right. I think it was a rapier rather than a saber. Yeah,
I think
to be fair, you've joined on my joke with a double down, and I appreciate it.
12 of one, half a dozen of the other. I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
We're doing so well.
Both. Half a dozen is 6.
That is also true, unless it's a baker's dozen, in which case it's 6.5.
Here we go, guys. We know math. That's why we're podcasting.
Welcome to the philosophy corner, where we verbally joust, not with sabers, but with rapiers, the weapon of the musketeer. So, what did you enjoy about it? What was your favorite bits, etc.?
All the costumes, all the visuals, everything was just so pretty and fun and colorful and amazing to look at. Like, you could watch this movie on mute and still have a great time.
Yeah, it is visually stunning. And I mean, that's something you can say about France in the 1800s, is that it is just gorgeous. The costumes and the palatial manners and all that stuff. And it always surprises me, and I always forget that France was at one point an actual, like, superpower.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really think of France nowadays and go, oh yeah, they were a massive, massive empire, weren't they?
I mean, I still love the French.
I mean, I think because I have a British passport, I'm not allowed to. Yeah. So yeah. Right, well then I guess, I mean, this has been lovely and positive.
Oh.
Yes?
I just the biggest plot hole.
Please, tell me.
So they're stealing the necklace back in order to avoid a war.
Uh-huh.
In order to do that, they break into a duke's castle, steal his airship, and then shoot up his castle. Which I think is how you start a war?
You know, come to think of it, you're pretty much 100% right.
Yeah.
And how that plot hole wasn't missed or fixed.
Because also, remember, the Duke doesn't know why they're on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Like, he just thinks it's a revenge thing. He has no idea about the fucking necklace.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So he just thinks they're breaking in to murder him.
And that's why at the end of the movie, he's, like, got a whole fleet ready to attack France. So the Musketeers didn't even actually avoid war.
They've potentially actually exacerbated the situation.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is why people need you on their film plots and scripts and such.
I mean, maybe this was why the Musketeers were disbanded, you know?
Also, I wanted to point that out, actually. It feels very unclear whether they were disbanded or not. Because obviously at the end of the opening scene, it looks like they're disbanded, but then they go and visit the king, and the king's like, my Musketeers. And it's like, oh, are they still working for you? I don't understand your relationship.
Yeah, it is unclear.
So, but you know what? It's fine, because you're distracted by the beautiful visuals. And the king is just so cute to his queen.
It's so cute. Look, like, overall, this movie's just, like, a really fun one that you, like, pop on, like, a Sunday afternoon after you've eaten lunch, you're, like, a little sleepy, you might fall asleep halfway through the movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
This is so fun.
It is really fun. And I think the fact that it got, like, what did you say it got? Like, 1.5? Or, like, 16% or something outrageous?
Oh, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
But it was really, really low, and I think that's such a shame, because it is such a stunning film.
Yeah, and it's harmless. It's a completely harmless film. Like,
yeah. And it's just fun. I mean, airships, great idea. Hilarious.
Anything steampunky.
Yeah.
So fun.
Exactly. So that's beautiful. So, I mean, is there a scene that could have saved it for you? Because,
I mean, besides fixing the gaping plot holes. I think they could have probably done away with the whole romance between D'Artagnan and the one handmaid.
And handmaid? Oh, but I loved handmaid.
Also, can we talk about, at one point, Mads Mikkelsen's character, like, kidnaps her so that they can't, like, attack their ship back?
Yeah.
But, like, that's not how that works, because her dad is probably someone extremely powerful and rich. Like, that's why she's a handmaid to the queen. You don't get to just, like, kidnap noblewomen with impunity.
But he's got one eye, and he's evil, clearly.
He is evil.
So he can do whatever he wants, apparently. That was my favourite thing as well, is he is just such a great character when he insults the horse, and then they go to duel, and he just pulls out a gun and shoots D'Artagnan. That is great.
I loved it.
Yeah. But yeah, you're again 100% right. You can't just kidnap noble people, I guess.
No.
She'll get you murdered.
Not in your own fucking country.
No. Because she's immediately going to tell the queen, like, as soon as she gets back.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, luckily he got stabbed by D'Artagnan, but, like...
Yeah.
If not.
In one of the weirdest and most wonderful fights of all time.
Ooh, the one on the roof?
Yeah. It was
really fun.
It was visually stunning, and I loved the realistic nature of it, with them, like, grabbing the swords and, like, their hands bleeding and shit.
Ow!
Like, that was great.
Oh, my fists clenched at that bit.
Yeah.
This is why you wear gloves when you duel, D'Artagnan.
I mean, that's dueling 101, as Simone has told you now. Give us your top 3 rules of dueling, Simone.
Oh,
Gloves.
Okay, in all my experience as a duelist, gloves, make sure your second can handle the responsibility. Like, you don't want a wimpy second. You know, I have had just such bad experiences with seconds who can't hold their own. And
Terrible.
then, finally, keep your hair tied back. You know, it just gets in your face, gets all over the place. You don't need that. Keep your beautiful French locks safe for another day, where no one can pull them.
That's really pragmatic.
Thank you. From my wealth of duels that I have fought.
Look, I mean, that's the reason you're still alive.
That's the reason.
That's the reason. And I mean, you do subscribe to the Dothraki way of doing things, and I mean, you haven't cut your beard since you lost the duel.
So
that's why your beard is
luxurious.
so beautifully long. Yeah. I mean, do you put product in it? How do you keep it that lush?
I'll actually make a separate recording for my whole beard routine because it's a lot. You know, this doesn't just happen.
Are you starting a beard podcast by yourself?
I'm gonna become a beard influencer.
That's exciting.
Hi guys, so a lot of you have been asking about my beard routine.
No one has ever asked that in the history of ever.
No.
Right, so, I mean, for me, I'm gonna be really lame about it, but there was no scene that really could have saved it. There's nothing I would have changed or wanted to add to this film. I mean, the love story between Handmaid and D'Artagnan is a bit odd, but also, James Corden could have gotten a bigger part. That's maybe one thing that I would say.
Oh,
James Corden in this
so fun.
was adorable, because he's still a baby
So cute.
actor. He doesn't have a late night show, he hasn't done Gavin and Stacey, he's not famous yet, and it's just cute.
I love him.
He was great.
He really is a national treasure for you guys.
He is the one thing that's keeping us going.
Let me tell you about this director.
Do it. Tell me about him.
Yes. Well spotted.
I mean, it's a disproportionate of directors are male,
Okay.
but we're not going to get into that. Otherwise we're going to be here forever.
So his name is Paul W.S. Anderson.
Okay.
You will have seen his work on Event Horizon. He directed the original Resident Evil.
Great film.
He directed Alien vs. Predator.
Okay film.
He directed Death Race. He directed Resident Evil Afterlife, Retribution, and The Final Chapter.
Wow.
So lots of Resident Evil, so that's how he knows Mila.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so he's been directing since 94. He still has stuff in the works.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Yeah, most recently, Monster Hunter, which is coming out in 2020.
Yes, I think I've heard about that.
Yes,
It looks really
also
good.
with Mila Jovovich in it.
Maybe they're best friends. That's probably why he keeps her around.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would love to be friends with her. I mean, she's great.
She is such a badass. I just want to hang out.
Yeah, although it would be incredibly intimidating.
It would be. I bet she's really nice, though.
Yeah. I can imagine she would be. And you could just chat to her about whatever, and she'd just be, take you out on her 18 motorcycles that she has. Probably.
Exactly. Like, you'd be like, oh, let's do a workout together, and then you're, like, too busy fucking dying to ask her anything, but she's, like, really cool about it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, do you want us to go slower? And, you've got to impress her, so you say no. But inside, you're actually just like, please kill me now.
Yes, I await death's sweet release.
In the presence of Mila, which is absolutely fine.
Perfect, that's how I want to go.
I'll let her know.
Thanks. Death by Mila Jovovich workout.
Oh man, yeah, I that would be great. I'm about that. Well, nicely done, Simone.
Thank you.
What a spectacular movie. Thank you for that.
What a fun time.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me about the movie that you picked and tell me why you're sorry.
Look, I for our listeners, I texted Simone really early on in the week after our last podcast when I had finished watching this movie, and I just said I apologize. It was I did this movie with the best of intentions, but
You did.
But as I think it's in Lord of the Rings where they say no, not Lord of the Rings. It was Jurassic Park 3 where Dr. Alan Grant says some of the world's stupidest things have been done with the best intentions, referring to Jurassic Park 1, of course. And,
Of course.
And I feel the same way about this. I did this with the best of intentions, thinking that this was a good movie, and it's not. It's genuinely horrific.
Yeah. Well, walk us through the plot, such as it is.
Such as it is. This is probably one of the shortest synopses I've ever written in my life, because it had really little to it. So here we go. We open on the infamous Hell House, where there is a girl, played by Natasha Lyonne, who is possessed.
Young Natasha Lyonne!
I know, right?
So excited!
It's very exciting. It's the only good thing about this movie is that this is probably where Natasha Lyonne started. She is possessed by a demon. This is obviously a parody of The Exorcist. And Father McFeely, hilarious, played by James Woods, comes to exorcise the child, but shoots her in the face instead. Fast forward to some time later, Cindy, played by Anna Faris, is now attending college. She was protagonist in the first movie, as she is in this one and multiple scary movies to come. She enrolls in a study conducted by the Professor, played by Tim Curry, and his assistant Dwight, played by David Cross. The students are told that that the study will assess their various sleep disorders, but in truth they are being taken to Hell House so that the Professor can finally get legitimate proof that the paranormal exists. Through this study, Cindy meets Buddy, played by Christopher Masterson. Buddy clearly wants to sleep with Cindy, but Cindy just wants to be friends. That weekend, they all head up to the mansion, and hilarious hijinks ensue. Shorty, played by Marlon Wayans, who is a stoner, is smoked by a demon marijuana plant. Ray, played by Sean Wayans, is attacked by a possessed clown doll, who Ray actually rapes. And Cindy is attacked by a possessed cat. And some other weird shit also happens. Turns out that the house used to belong to the Canes. Mrs. Kane killed her husband and his mistress in the house because of his infidelity, and she now wants to get revenge on Cindy, because Cindy just looks exactly like her.
I mean, not exactly.
Not exactly. She's got... What was the line? It's great.
Honestly, one of the funnier jokes in this movie.
Yeah. Her skin's oilier, her hair has split ends, and her boobies look like raccoon boobies and aren't as perfect. So yeah. In the end, they are able to catch the ghost of Mr. Kane because of Cindy or some shit. The end. That is all that matters in this terrible, terrible film.
I mean...
Thoughts? What are your thoughts?
The early 2000s were like a really weird time in history, I feel. I feel like it was just a point where nobody knew what the fuck was happening. We didn't think we would get this far. And just terrible, special effects were used to do horrible things. And just because we could didn't mean we should.
Yeah.
And apparently it was still funny for anytime a woman got assaulted or sexually harassed. That's always really hilarious and should be played for jokes.
I think, like you said, the 2000s are a really weird time because it's like everyone thought the more outrageous we could be, the funnier it would be.
Yeah, pure shock factor.
Pure shock factor. And it was a weird time because it's like almost cinema went through like a teenage phase where it was just like butt jokes and gay jokes and rape jokes.
Yeah.
And that was considered hilarious. And yeah, I mean, look, comedy never ages well. It's just a fact.
Look, that being said, I think genuinely funny comedy does age well. Like, really good comedy. Like, a brewery that I like, they screen Charlie Chaplin films every Thursday night.
Oh, yeah?
And it's a really nice vibe because, like, obviously, even if other people are talking, like, it's a silent film, so you can still watch it. And that even still has, like, moments that are genuinely really funny because it's got, like, comedic timing and, like, setting you up and then letting you down, like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think... I don't know, maybe 50 years down the line, someone will watch Scary Movie and go, oh yeah, that's aged well because of the following, but I don't see it happening.
No, definitely not. But like the difference between this and Charlie Chaplin films is that it's not really at anyone's expense.
Yeah.
Like, those jokes are funny because they're just funny, empirically speaking.
Yeah. He's laughing at himself.
Yeah, jokes at someone's expense are very rarely gonna age well.
Yeah.
Because it's not nice to be, it's not nice to be mean to someone, and it's not funny to be mean to someone, really. In sort of a broad terms. I mean, we're mean to each other sometimes, but that's because we're really, really close friends.
Not really.
Like, I talk in like once every like 6 years. Yeah, exactly.
Once in a blue moon.
N-word was said 2 minutes in, and there was a P joke 2 minutes in. So I guess you could kind of see where this was going from the start.
Well, here's the question. What made you, like, laugh? Like, what made you genuinely kind of laugh?
The McFeely thing was kind of funny. I enjoyed that reference. It was a little bit funny.
A little bit.
That was good. I think the bit... It's really hard to choose actually funny bits. The whole musical scene where, like, they're playing with the basketball, so good.
So funny.
With the Wayans brothers dancing and then the white people dancing. That was great. And what's funny is it's actually a parody of an actual advert that I think the NBA did, or someone. I'll try and find a link to it, and we'll
I think so
in the footnotes. So that was good. What made you laugh?
What's the name of Cindy's best friend?
Because she's great.
Please,
Regina Hall.
She was honestly one of the funniest characters in this. Brenda was fucking hysterical the whole time. I think, like, you know, it was funny because they're playing on standard horror movie tropes where obviously the black girl or the black guy dies first.
Yeah.
So there's that scene where, like, you know, they're like all in the basement and Buddy's like, oh, we should split up. And she's like, fuck no, we're not splitting up. This is how I fucking die. So they all head off. Really and it's just like her and Shorty and Ray like stuck together. And then Cindy's, like, running down the corridor being chased by the skeleton, and she's like, please just let it kill her before it gets to me. I don't want to deal with this. Fuck funny. Especially when she's like, the skeleton's just bones. Honestly, genuinely funny. I was laughing. Probably, to me, the most horrifying scene that I could not... I was watching this with breakfast. Okay?
Why?
Which... It was such a mistake.
That is a terrible idea.
The scene where the butler, with his tiny hand,
no.
was serving them dinner.
Oh, no.
Which, like, subjectively, it's a little funny, but, like, it is rough to watch.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable. To do that over breakfast?
I wanted to get it out the way.
That is a mistake. But
I made chocolate chip pancakes, and they were ruined.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, sweetie. Oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I double apologize for making you watch this and you having to watch it during breakfast.
It's on me.
Yeah. I must say, though, in defense, I think the Wayans brothers did a spectacular performance in this film. If you look at them in this film versus them in sort of something like White Chicks or whatever, like, it shows their versatility.
Yeah.
The fact that Shorty is one of the Wayans brothers, like, you would not recognize him in comparison to Ray.
No, definitely
Which
not.
I think was really, really well done. I think, you know, they have such a wide range, did the Wayans brothers, and it's good.
And I will say that they weren't super precious about having a disabled character. I think a lot of times people walk on eggshells around disabled characters, and it's like almost like it's just as bad as specifically making them the butt of the jokes. I think everybody got ripped on really hard in this movie, and I think the jokes that they made, like, were good. I think that, weirdly, they did having a disabled character well. Yeah.
I see your point.
I mean, I stand to be corrected if like someone in a wheelchair, someone in the disabled community wants to correct me, but I was like, you know what? That's kind of fair.
Yeah. And I think that whole scene where they fought in the wheelchairs was really funny. Him and the ghost Kane. That was weird but great in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was good. That I appreciated as well. So much rape. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Why?
And also just girls getting hurt all the time, especially poor Anna Faris.
Yeah, she is so lovely. I don't understand why she decides to do these films, because she is such a good actress, and yet she just does these
Scary
films.
Movie was her big break, though.
It really was. Like, she's got an amazing podcast.
Yeah, Unqualified.
Yeah. So you know, we might
give it a listen, guys. It's really
good.
It's lovely.
Yeah, she's delightful. But yeah, the ghost rapes what's her Tori Spelling's character. Yeah. Ray rapes that clown.
And let's not forget Ray raped those two drunk frat guys at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that's also true. Tim Curry, the professor, is not a pedophile because they're all of age, but a sexual harasser of no end. Yeah.
The butler is pretty gross with Cindy when she first arrives, like knocking her bag over and smelling her panties.
Yeah.
God, there are just so many.
Ray puts his finger up Buddy's butt during dinner.
Yeah.
That's,
obviously, Buddy coercing Cindy
to give him a hand job. Yeah.
Feigning injury.
Yeah, it is still technically a form of rape. So, yep.
Whew.
So, you know, prime example of how rape is not amusing.
It's, yeah, like, I don't know, I guess at the time, like, it was okay to joke about. I don't think it's ever okay to joke about, but...
No, definitely not.
I can't imagine finding that funny. I don't know. I'm glad that we're past that point in cinema, and now comedians actually have to try.
Yeah. Could you imagine living through this area? Okay, put yourself in this position. You're 21. You're living in Hollywood. Okay. And you're a writer, and you're trying to get picked up and get work.
Yeah.
And you hear of this magical thing called National Lampoon. And you think to yourself, hey, this might be my way in. And you go there with your packet, your jokes packet, and they throw it all out because not one of your jokes is at someone's expense about being gay or about raping people.
It's how I imagine people working at the White House at the moment feel. Like, you know, you get your master's degree, you get your PhD in, like, politics and international relations and law and whatever else, and there you are, making bar charts and bullet points to brief a man who hasn't really had to work for anything in his life, and who doesn't understand even what the government does.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I just imagine that, the same feeling.
Mr. President, look here, something shiny. Sir.
Oh, this article mentions you! Ooh. Also, we need to make decisions about France.
Oh God! But it's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna be okay.
It's gonna be fine.
We're all gonna be okay.
We're not living in end times. We are okay.
I mean, look, where do you stand in terms of Mad Max territory? Because this is where it's going. Are you gonna be sort of on Fury Road? Are you gonna be?
I want to be the fucking badass Amazons living in the desert. Are you kidding me?
That sounds legit. I think I would want to be the cook because everyone's got to eat.
Yeah.
And I don't mind cooking dead human for people.
Future historians will condemn me for not being more concerned about you at this time.
Look, Simone, if you had a choice between eating one of your wonderful cats or eating a human, I know which one you would pick.
Yeah, a human every time.
Every time.
My cats can literally eat me before I'll eat them.
And like, they will.
They will. I'm fine with that. If that's what they need to do to survive, like, fine.
Yeah. So let it be said, if it weren't illegal, I may or may not be a cannibal.
Okay. I think we have to take the context into account here.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. In an apocalyptic world where it is legal, I would probably be a cannibal. So let me what scene could have saved this for you if there was just one scene?
I don't think there is. Like, how do you...
Where do you?
No, I don't have a scene. Do you have a scene that could have saved?
No, I don't. Just all of them at the end going, we really apologize for all of this. And that being it, really.
Just all the proceeds going to a women's shelter or rape crisis center.
That would be nice. I would love to hear Tim Curry's thoughts on this film. Now that he's done,
I think he probably just thought it would be really funny, and in all fairness, I'm sure it was.
What, like at the time to do?
I think there's a lot of fun as an actor. Like, you just get to play this fucking ridiculous role, where you're like utterly cartoonish, and then someone pays you for it.
That's also true. That is also true. I think that's actually a really good point. To be fair, now that you bring that up, is like, we expect these actors to be sort of the bastions and the examples of higher humans. They're just doing a job. We pay them to do a job.
You know, it's so hard to be an actor. And especially as, like, two job-hunting humans, I know it doesn't matter how soulless the corporation that hires me is, I will work for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. If they were willing to pay me, and then, you know, if there's any bonuses...
Oh, and if there are benefits? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll work for fucking LexCorp. I'll work any fictional villain.
I do love the fact that you went for fictional villains when we have actual villains who own mega corporations right now.
Fine, I'll work for Amazon, I'll work for Monsanto, hit me up, guys.
Tesla, I'll work for you. Disney, well, let's do it.
Disney, double let's do it. Netflix, you just canceled a really good show, but I'll work for you anyway.
What did they cancel?
The Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes, they did cancel that, didn't they?
It was such a cute show. Like, I don't understand.
No, it's disappointing.
And also, after they canceled all their Marvel stuff, I'm really angry.
Well,
but
Disney's gonna do all of that, so that's fine, and you're gonna pay for Disney Plus.
I just hope they bring on the same casts,
That would be nice. That would be good. Okay, well, let me tell you about the director then. Moving swiftly on.
Please.
So, we're talking here about Keenan Ivory Wayans. So this is the third Wayans brother. I didn't know there was a third Wayans brother. And he hasn't done a hell of a lot of movies, but the movies he's done are pretty okay. So he directed the first Scary Movie film. He directed White Chicks, which is just fantastic as a film. And then he directed Little Man, which is where the Wayans brother has a baby Wayans brother that he has to look after. It's odd and bad, but yeah.
Okay.
So, you know what? He's got his niche, and he's good at his niche. You know, I wouldn't say this film was badly acted through. I think he did his best given sort of the ambit of what this film is about. So I feel him.
Yeah.
I feel he did a good job.
You know what? I think this kind of comedy takes a special kind of directing, and not everyone can do it. I think a lot of the physical comedy was pretty funny. So props to him.
Yeah, so there you go. And that's that. And I will apologize again.
Thank God.
Just want to say...
Please, let's never do any of these movies
we won't.
ever again.
I promise we'll retire these movies. National Lampoon should just be reserved for the annals of history as, you know, examples of why some comedy doesn't age well. So, last segment of the day. Tell us, what are you excited for?
Oh, a lot of fun trailers came out.
Yes.
So there's a lot to talk about, but I watched the trailer for Wine Country, which is directed by Amy Poehler.
I love her.
And it's all the ladies from, like, that era of SNL.
Oh, lovely.
So, like, yeah. And it's them going to Napa for the weekend. It looks hilarious.
I mean, there's not much more you can say about that because they all are amazing.
Just all hilarious women supposedly getting hammered. Obviously, it's a movie, so don't know how much of the wine drinking is real, but the trailer looks hilarious. I know I'm going to watch it with my sister and drink a lot of wine while I do, out of respect.
Straight. Yeah, and I mean, if it is Amy Schumer directing, I would assume...
Amy Poehler.
Oh, sorry, Amy Poehler directing. Yeah, it's just going to be so funny, and it will be delightful, because... She is delightful, and she is a great director.
And obviously actor. Tina Fey makes an appearance.
Oh.
She's got it.
She has to. They're best friends forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. I'm looking forward to that. That should be good.
Yeah, and what do you think is going to podcast?
Oh, it's another one of our Scientologist favorites, The Poison Rose, featuring your boy John Travolta.
Okay.
From what I can tell from this incredibly confusing trailer, it's about he's a detective or a PI, and he goes into a town where there's been a murder of a teenage boy, and it seems like the governor, who is called the Doctor, played by Morgan Freeman, did the murder, maybe, but he's a bad guy, and he doesn't want Travolta investigating, but then there's like a love interest, and it's an odd one, and I don't have anything particularly against Travolta, but I also don't think this film will do well.
I mean, it's always a mixed bag with Travolta and Freeman.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna watch it.
No, I mean, we'll watch it probably for this podcast if it does badly, but it looks like one of those films where it's not a good sort of shooty uppy action film like John Wick or a Bond film. It's one of those bad ones that everyone just sort of forgets about because it's just terrible.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So look, as we always say, I hope it's not going to do badly, but you know.
You never know.
Yeah. It sort of, do you know what it reminded me of a little bit is I Know Who Killed Me.
Oh, God. It can't be as bad as I Know Who Killed Me.
That movie was spectacular. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was a movie that Lindsay Lohan acted in.
She did her best, given the circumstances.
Yeah, in all fairness, it wasn't her fault.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, Simone.
Yeah.
Yet another week, done and dusted.
Woo!
How exciting. So, what are you doing next week?
I hope you're ready to dig into another beloved franchise, Chad.
Oh, no.
So this series started as a trilogy and was consequently expanded, which I don't believe anyone asked for. So we're really doing the 4th installment in the series, Pirates of the Caribbean.
No!
On Stranger Tides.
No!
It had to happen, Chad. It
So
had to
much
happen.
hate. Oh, God.
We're skipping over the trilogy. We're going straight for the meat of it once a lot of the famous actors pulled out.
Okay. I mean...
Get ready for a fun romp.
Okay, I'm excited. I am excited because these movies are just ridiculous. Is this the one with the mermaids? I think that might have been number 3. I don't know anymore. There's just too many of them.
I believe it's the one with the mermaids.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. It's not the week before my exams or anything, so that's okay.
I mean, you can just take your brain out for a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Well, what are you covering, okay?
Yeah, okay, to be fair, I have no room to speak because I mentioned it last week, and because I haven't had time to think of anything better to do, we're gonna be doing You Don't Mess With the Zohan.
Why do I have to do this twice?
What do you mean you have to do this twice?
Wasn't Scary Movie enough?
Look, you're being very anti-Semitic right now, and I can say that because I'm Jewish.
I don't think I'm being anti-Semitic.
No, this movie is anti-Semitic. Look, it's gonna be a bad week. Let's just barrel through it, try our best, and then we can get over it for next week, okay?
Okay, sure.
For our listeners out there, Simone's face is a picture of devoid
despair. Hope. Okay, Chad, tell me about how your week was.
Man. Okay, so my week has been, the usual. I've just been studying all week. So, we got 1 week to go till exams. This is the last week, the final push. I'll be so excited. Come May the 10th, I will be so excited because I will finish my exam at 1 p.m. And then I am immediately going to go see Detective Pikachu.
Deserve it.
As my congratulatory thing. But I did see Endgame. Not gonna give spoilers away because you haven't seen it yet. But absolutely loved it. It's a fantastic film. Obviously, it's
excited.
Avengers. Let's be honest. And did you see it buxed $1.2 billion opening weekend?
That's insane. That's a crazy amount of money.
Stupid amount of money. So yeah, how was your week?
My week was good. Taylor Swift released a new song.
How have we not spoken
which I'm so excited about, with Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. It's pure delight.
It's so lovely, and it's just so much fun. And I mean, you have feelings about them not being together, which are completely opposed to my feelings of them not being together.
Leave Brendan alone.
They would be the cutest couple.
No, you think everyone would be the cutest couple with Taylor?
Well, no, because I would be the cutest couple with Taylor. But apart from that, they would be really great together. He's crazy.
You don't know that. You know nothing about them.
I know everything about them. Shut up.
And then on a completely different note, I watched Mandy last night, which is a movie that came out, I believe, last year, starring Nick Cage. And it is so good.
Okay.
It's strange. It's a perfect role for Nick Cage. It reminds me a lot of, From Dusk Till Dawn, where the first half of the movie is one thing, and then the second half is batshit crazy.
Right. Okay.
It's just incredible. I was thoroughly entertained the whole way through. It was, anytime Nick Cage gets to act completely crazy, he does great. And he did that for this role. It made sense. And wow, what a wild ride.
Okay, I might go watch that on your recommendation now. Because I love a good Nick Cage film, especially if he's allowed to be crazy.
He's allowed to be all the crazy.
I mean, what a beautiful man. Okay.
I'm gonna say 3 words to you.
Uh-huh.
Demon, motorcycle, gang.
What? He's Ghost Rider again?
Is he in it? Is he fighting it?
Is he just reprising his role as Ghost Rider?
No Ghost Rider, but I was waiting for it.
Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm excited. I will go and watch that after I've watched Zohan and On Stranger Fucking Tides.
Okay, don't get mad at me for my movie when your movie is not great.
Yeah, it's Ben Stiller again. I mean, he's clearly a friend of this podcast. Or an enemy, I guess. Yeah. Look, it's all gonna be okay. So yeah. Well, where can the people find you? Where can the people find us? Tell us the social meds.
So, the people can find us on It's Not That Bad 1 on Facebook and Twitter, at It's Not That Bad Podcast on Instagram, and they can email us at It's Not That Bad podcast@gmail.com. They can also find me on Instagram at simone.le.roux. That's it. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at chatsby1993. That's CHADSBY 1993. They can also find both of us on Forge and Flint for exciting articles, short stories, and poetry. And thank you guys. Thank you for listening. And you know what? It does really mean a lot to us when you tell us how well or how badly we're doing. You know, we do this for fun, but it is also fun to hear from you guys. So please do go onto your apps or whatever and give us a like, give us a rating, give us some recommendations or some comments. And yeah, just know that we really, 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 really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And as we say at the end of every week, we love you.
We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Bye.
Bye.